Learn how to cross organ systems because that's how the test is headed. More and more, they're moving towards multi-system, sort of multi-topic test questions. This is one of the things I love working on my students for, because they love testing basic science with a clinical lens, and there's not a ton of places where that always fits, so the places where it does fit become very high yield. So Wernicke-Korsakoff, thiamine, that's the classic example. There's not a ton that they could ask you about, like the vitamins, but like this one connects really nicely to neuro, which connects nicely to psychiatric. So where there is a connection between basic and clinical sciences, particularly the basic sciences, the genetics, the sort of more mundane stuff, be keen to that, because that's where you're going to find the questions. That's where you're going to find the questions that are going to separate or stratify out students too, because everybody knows that, you know, ACE inhibitor has a dry cough by this point. That's not new. And then, you know, first aid is helpful here. This is one of the best places that first aid sort of functions as sort of a question review resource. You know, I've got this, I'm going to look it up real quick and see, oh, that connects to this. I hadn't thought of that. And then what does that connect to? So you almost like you're resynthesizing, you're synthesizing and resynthesizing new pathways with the material. Start now, start today. These sort of advanced test taking skills take time, and like anything else that takes time, it's pretty common to stink at it in the beginning, but that's okay. Go slow, go untimed, and develop the skill. Use paper if you have to. Eventually you'll get so good at it, you find you don't need the paper anymore. You can just do it in your mind. And eventually you'll get so good at it, you won't have to think about it anymore. It'll be automatic at that point. And it's almost like the MCAT verbal reasoning. Ooh, remember that.
Oh God, shivers.
Reading between the lines.
Shitra asks, can you explain what you mean by use a PDF of first aid? So I usually say literally download a PDF of first aid. You can find them online pretty easily, and you can get the most recent version. You don't have to pay for it. And what I have students do is just use Control F onion. Anybody out there who's got first aid and is Control F-ing onion right now, there are 3 places you're going to find onion skinning. One is in bone, one is in cardiac, and one is in biochem. And super props to you if you can tell me what they are. And then lipid-laden macrophages, which are the same thing as foam cells, you're going to find it in 3 places also. And these are 3 very different places. This is biochem, cardiac, and I guess GI. And sort of crossing organ systems like this reminds you that, well, in Niemann-Pick, there are foam cells because it's a lysosomal storage disease and you can't get rid of lipids, right? Well, atherosclerosis, you have increased lipids in the blood, which pile up into your cells and cause foam cells. So making those connections is huge. And the PDF of first aid is really helpful just because you don't have to flip through it.